Hi there guys, I'm Nikhil from Greedy Tech and this is the camera review of InFocus Vision 3. This phone comes with a dual camera setup with a 13 megapixel primary camera with f2.0 aperture and a 5 megapixel wide angle camera with f2.0 aperture and a single LED flash. On the front it has a 5 megapixel camera with f2.2 aperture. So guys, this is the camera interface of InFocus Vision 3. We have the video on the left side, beauty mode on the right side, panorama, and a professional mode or manual mode. We have some toggles at the top. If you click this toggle, it will switch between the primary camera and the wide angle camera. By the way guys, this is a regular camera and this is a wide angle camera. So you can switch between them using this particular toggle. Next we have this toggle for the portrait mode. We can even change the blur effect from here, which sounds cool, and we have to see how it actually works. Next we have the settings option. From here we can go to settings. Next we have this button over here for front facing camera. Once again we have this portrait mode over here and it seems to be working really well. Once again we can change or edit the blur mode, bokeh effect. So guys, that was the camera interface. By the way, we can record video in 1080p. Just go to settings and from here we can change the video resolution. So we can record video in full HD from front and rear cameras. Now let's look at the sample pictures. This phone has HDR but no auto HDR, so we have to manually switch it on every time you want to use it. These are some shots taken in well lit conditions using the 13 megapixel primary camera with HDR turned off. Colors are slightly faded, sharpness is decent, and dynamic range is just average. For the price, it's good. All these images were taken in the evening and it does a pretty good job with maintaining color balance. When there is a bright source, you get darker images with warmer colors. Exposure control is good, better than most phones in its price range. Now these are some shots taken with the wide angle camera with HDR turned off. By the way, I'll show you the picture from the regular camera for a second and then show you the wide angle shot, so you'll get a clear idea about how wide the secondary camera is. A wide angle camera at this price is really awesome, and it does take some pretty good images. Images have good color reproduction, dynamic range is okay. As it is a wide angle camera, most of the time it covers more area than the regular camera, so you will see a sudden change in temperature. As it's a 5 megapixel camera, if you zoom in, it isn't as sharp as the primary camera. Now these are the images taken with HDR turned on from the primary camera. Images are bright with more contrast, dynamic range is very good. I was really amazed to see the results. Like all the budget phones, it takes like 2 seconds to take the picture when you turn on HDR mode, and you need very stable hands to get sharp images. Now these are the images taken with HDR on using the wide angle camera. Once again, images from the regular camera are followed by the wide angle camera. Wide angle pictures have cooler colors and sometimes look better. Now these are the regular shots followed by the shots with HDR turned on. Now you can see a huge difference. This phone also has a portrait mode on the rear. These are the sample shots. Some edges are soft and sometimes it misses some area. It's not as good as Mi A1, but still does a pretty good job for the price. In this mode, camera UI is very slow and it takes like a second to take a picture. Sometimes it doesn't work at all. Color reproduction and dynamic range are good. These are some portrait shots in comparison with the regular shots. You can compare the amount of blur effect you get and the drastic difference from the regular shot to the portrait shot. These are some macro shots. You get good bokeh effect, but it struggles to focus quickly. Now let's look at the selfies. Unlike most phones in its price segment, you get wide angle selfies on this phone, which is a great thing to start with. We can also enable HDR mode and it works pretty well. Color reproduction is good, images are sharp and capturing speeds are good. For the price, it does a great job. These are some more selfies taken in indoor conditions. Capturing speeds are slow and as you can see, images are very soft. These are the selfies taken in very low light conditions. Images are very soft, but noise is well managed. Depending upon the lighting conditions, you might get better shots. This phone uses the display as flash, and it does help a little, but in very low light conditions, it isn't sufficient. Just like with the rear cameras, this phone has a portrait mode on the front even though it has only one camera. And here are the sample shots. Capturing speeds are low, color reproduction and dynamic range is the same as regular selfies. Portrait mode for the front camera works better than the rear camera, at least there are very few mistakes. In low light conditions, images are soft but they are decently bright with a cleaner look. There is noise but it's not sticking out a lot. Especially the dark areas have very less noise, at least less than other phones. In good lighting conditions, you get some great shots and I was really surprised with its performance. It's far better than most phones that cost almost twice its price in terms of image processing. Color reproduction is good and close to accurate colors. Dynamic range is average and capturing speeds are okay. The same thing applies even for the low light indoor conditions. Now coming to video recording, it can record video in 1080p and here's the footage from the rear camera. By the way, it can only record video from the primary camera. There is no optical image stabilization, but there seems to be some kind of electronic image stabilization. This footage is more stable than most other phones. Color reproduction is good and it's close to accurate colors.
Hi there guys, I'm Nikhil from Greedy Tech and this is the camera review of InFocus Vision 3 and this is the video recorded using the front facing camera and you can check out the stabilization.
This is the footage from the front camera. There is no stabilization. It is shot in 1080p but it is very pixelated and not very sharp. So it's pretty bad. So guys, to conclude, for a price tag of 7,000 rupees, this phone is awesome in terms of cameras. You get great selfies. Rear cameras are good, HDR mode works really well, you have portrait mode for the front and rear cameras, you also get a wide angle camera on the rear unlike any other phone and it does a pretty decent job with stabilization. So for 7,000 rupees, if you want the best cameras, I'll definitely recommend this phone to you. So guys, looking at the pictures, what do you think about the camera performance of this phone? Do let me know by commenting below this video and if you're planning to buy this phone, use the link in the description, it really helps the channel. If you want us to make any specific video, tweet out to us with hashtag AskGreedyTech on Twitter and we will try to do it as soon as possible. If you like this video, hit that like button and subscribe to our channel to see more cool videos on tech. I'm Nikhil from Greedy Tech signing off. Have a nice day.